Hello everyone, welcome back to our grammar class. We have to study the three main forms of the verbs because they are very important in all our grammar sections. We know there are 8 parts of speech. We have categorized English words into 8 basic types called parts of speech. It is necessary to understand them because it helps us to construct good sentences. They are noun, pronoun, verb, adjective, adverb, preposition, conjunction, and interjection. Today we are going to learn about verb. What is a verb? A word used to describe an action, state, or occurrence and forming the main part of a predicate of a sentence is called verb. Verb tells us about the subject, mainly the actions performed by the subject and also the state of the subject. There are 2 types of verbs. They are main verbs and auxiliary verbs. Verbs have got 2 unique qualities. One is it changes depending on the subject, and the second quality is it changes depending on the time. See this example. I am tall, you are tall, she is tall. In the first sentence, am is the auxiliary verb, in the second are is used, and in the third is used. But the adjective is tall in all the 3 sentences. That is why it is said a verb changes depending on the subject. In the first sentence, it is a first person I. In the second sentence, it is a second person you. And in the third sentence, it is a third person she. Copy down this in your notebook so that you will understand the singular and plural pronouns and their category. Let us see the next examples. Tom comes here regularly. Tom came here yesterday. Tom will come tomorrow. Here, the verb in all these sentences are different. The first sentence shows the habitual action, the second sentence shows the past action, and the third sentence shows the future action. That is why it is said the verb changes depending on the time. We shall learn more about it when we learn tenses. One of the most crucial part of English grammar is the verb, a word that describes an action. They can take any forms based on the time, base form or simple present. Next is the simple past, and the third one is form of a verb to V3 forms. The verb has got V4 and V5 forms. V4 is the ing form and V5 is the S. പ്രവൃത്തിയെ സൂചിപ്പിക്കുന്ന വാക്കിനെയാണ് വേർബ് എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. നമ്മൾ ചെയ്യുന്ന ഏത് പ്രവൃത്തിയും വേർബാണ്. Hello students, hope you understand English grammar and it is a pillar for learning tenses. So let us the actions performed by the subject. Example, he runs, they walk to school. Helping verbs like am, is, are, was, were, etc. They need the sub of the main verb. He reads, John comes here regularly. John came here. Let us talk about tenses later. Now we have to focus on the 3 forms of the verb. They are present, past, and past participle. We conveniently call it as V1, V2, and V3. Please note, verbs are subdivided into 2 groups, regular verbs and irregular verbs. Regular verbs can be changed by just adding D or ED to the base form. Now, copy down the few regular verbs you see on the screen in your notebook and try to understand it. These are the list of irregular verbs. An irregular verb is the one that does not form its simple past tense and past participle by just adding D or ED to it. So, my dear students, I suggest you to by heart these irregular verb forms so that it will help you in our future grammar classes. And when you are writing this in your notebook, you have to read it aloud. Read and write it together like bite, bit, bitten, bleed, bled, bled, drive, drove, driven, eat, ate, eaten, fall, fell, fallen, feed, fed, fed, feel, felt, felt, go, went, gone, grow, grew, grown, hear, heard, heard. When you say and write, you will be able to memorize these irregular verbs very fast. So it will not be a problem when you learn grammar. See children, there are thousands of verbs, but I have given you only very few. The verbs that we use frequently in our daily life. And today's assignment is to by heart this list of irregular verbs. Agreed?
Shall continue in the next class.